Remembered. Hello, I'm so glad to see everybody. Come on down, guys. Let's start with some famous bridging. Let your feet either be on the floor. I'm so glad to see you guys. Have this little foam roller down if you would like it. And curl up. Here we go. Up, and down. Now you can use the floor if you want, or you can put your feet on the roller. So exhale and lift up, inhale and lower. And then I'm going to put my neck more neutral so that I'm a good example for how to keep your neck on an exercise like this. So see if you can tune into the audible cues that I'm giving. Oh, I see you, Catherine. Good job. Keep going. My hamstrings just cramping. I did a couple of jogs this week. For some reason, I just felt good and wanted to jog. So now my legs are like, we're going to cramp on you. All right, so try 3 more and try 2 more. Now 1 more. And what we'll do is take your hands to the feet. This is going to be a way to wake up the hamstrings, stretch, and the back. So hold 5. Feel the knees dropping on either side of you. 4. Looking good. 3. That nice. 2. And then 1. Now, let your feet be on an imaginary table, and let me give you this in layers. So the first layer of crisscross is to reach one leg out. Now the second layer would be to put your hands behind your head and add a rotation. And another trick you can do is to put your Pilates ring behind, or what you could do is you could put a towel behind your head. Keep going, guys. I'm going to remove my sweater and welcome Allison. She's here. Hi, guys. Keep going. Doing great. Take 4 more. Hi, Allison. I can't see you to cue you, but if you want to keep it that way, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to try a couple more abdominal rotations. Now, when you're ready, rest your head, take your hands to your feet, and pull your knees down on either side. And yeah, you can keep going, Catherine. I know you were adjusting your camera. Hands to your feet. I love it. Now I'm going to introduce this next one with a long-legged position. A modification for tight hamstrings is to have a little knee bend. Now notice how I'm doing a little scissor. My ribs are down on the mat. That's so you're protecting your back. I've got a little belly pulling in right here, like I'm getting ready to cough. That's your transverse abdominis. Now, if you care to add on, you can place your hands behind your head and lift up. Now you can sustain this 30 degrees of flexion. That's an abdominal crunch we're doing, and we're not straightening the neck because we have this abdominal working to lift us up that 30 degrees. Now, if you would like to add on, those moves together look like this: rotation, rotation, exhale. So of course you can modify by leaving the legs more vertical. You could also modify by putting a Pilates ring or a towel behind your head as a hammock to support you. Another modification would be leaving the head down or putting a pillow under the head so you don't have to lift the head up so far. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take a minute, hands to the feet, pull the knees down, hold on to that hamstring stretch. Now we're going to send, there she is. Hi, Allie. Hello. All right, take your left leg down and lift up your right leg. I'm going to get us going, and then that way we're moving. We want to accomplish a lot, but I will give some modifications along the way if needed, or challenges. This is called leg circles, and I'm looking for some mobility. I'm getting my femur around that acetabulum. My goal is to keep my ribs down and not strain my neck. So if your neck feels any strain, a little trick would be to put a pillow under your head. Hands down also help frame. Shoulders down like lily pads on a pond. Now we're going to go the other way. The larger the circle, the more it's going to require your abdominals to help keep the ribs in the appropriate place, which is ribs down. There's also a cue of the pubic bone gently pulling up by my abs. So right here, there's some ab tone. That way my low back doesn't get more lordotic or more arched. So we'll do about 3 more of those, depending where you are on your 10, 2. And before we hit the other leg, let's just hold on to that hamstring And add a little point and a flex here. Pour your other leg down and you're gonna get a nice psoas release here and a hamstring release here. The shoulders are soft and notice how good that feels. Hamstrings usually love stretches, don't they? Slide the other leg up, slide the other leg down. Now connect the ribs. I'm gonna start us going and then I'll integrate some cues again. The circle is as big as you can maintain your ribs down on the mat, because the lower you go, the more chance there is for your low back to get lordotic off the floor, and we don't want that. So the ribs are down. If you have any clicking, because I don't hear you with the group classes, I can't hear, you want to modify that circle till you're not clicking. So don't have any clicking. The shoulders are down on the mat like lily pads on a pond, not tense in the neck at all. Now, tend the other way and get that femur going around that acetabulum, lubricate that joint. You'll feel some work around your legs, but you want to feel some lumbopelvic stability. So in here, you should feel some tone between the ribs and the pelvis. The neck is soft, the shoulders are down, but they're not aggressively down. There's no extra tension in the body. When you're done with that 10th one, leave that leg up in the air, hold on to that leg, and let's pull in that hamstring. This leg, right leg, is pouring down. This leg is feeling a stretch. Relax the neck, relax the jaw. So what I'm doing with these tensions is we want to know what muscles we want to fire and we want to know what muscles we want to relax. So the whole body, if you're built like me, the whole body wants to do everything all the time. And so what you're doing is differentiation. You're relaxing the muscles you don't want and you're activating the ones you do want. So take an inhale and then both legs are going to come up. Now this is called corkscrew. The hands come down on the floor like a frame. Glue the legs together like you have a ribbon between them as you circle your legs. We're doing a modified corkscrew. And then circle your legs the other way. So if you were drawing a clock on the sky, you're at 12 o'clock, you're going clockwise once, you go to 12 o'clock, you go counterclockwise. The bigger the circle, the harder it is to maintain lumbopelvic stability, which means the ribs are down. The pubic bone has a gentle pulling up sensation because we're avoiding the compensation of the low back getting overly arched. Right here, there's a strong pull on the low back from the psoas, so we really have to feel the abs pull down. And if you can't do that and the ribs come up no matter what you do, you're going to want to modify by bending the knee or decreasing how low your circle is. So let's take about one more each way. Glue the legs together for the inner thighs. Shoulders and neck are soft. Nice job. And then hug those legs in. And if you want, you can rock and roll. Looking good. And then we're going to go back to a bridge. Now, if your roller got away from you like mine did, you can bring it back. If you do not want the roller, you can just do this on the floor. So take an inhale. You have all four corners of your feet on the floor. If you're on the roller, you're just imagining that your feet are flat on the floor. Now, low back hits the floor on these. So in actually in Krav Maga or like other bridges, there's a push all the way up. What we're trying to do, unless you have a herniated disc, is we're trying to do one vertebra at a time. So you're going to feel each vertebra like you're putting down a string of pearls, right here especially. There's a saying that you're as young as your spine, so we're giving each part of that back attention. We want a strong, supple, mobile spine. Now hamstrings should feel it too. Hips are level, should feel it too. Glute med should feel it. Now the next time you're up, you can hold. Make sure your hips are level. 10, point your feet down, toes down if you want a little bit more. And just kind of check. You should feel your glutes and your hamstrings more than your lower back. We're not trying to go up as high as we possibly can. We're staying in this hip level place. Curl yourself down. And then take one more of these happy babies that we've been taking. Hold on to the feet and pull the knees down. Now we're going to take the legs long, and this is a little bit more advanced, so I'll be showing a modification in a moment. It's an inhale to prepare and an exhale to go up and over your legs. So this is called the roll up. Again, you can sequence your spine. It's almost like I've got your hands and I'm helping you roll down slowly. Now an inhale to go overhead, maintain your rib contact on the floor, and then exhale to come up and over. Good, and go until this is like a nice little posterior chain stretch. It doesn't have to be aggressive, we're not ballistic, just rolling down. And I can see what everybody's doing, everybody looks good. The way to modify would just be, I'll show you in a moment, when you're up, that you only do a partial roll down. That way you don't have to pick your head up or aggressively yank your arms forward. But if you can, you're sequencing the spine here with control, one vertebra at a time. If the neck is the issue, one modification would be to put a pillow under your head so you don't have to pick it up as much. Nice. Now I want to give us a add-on. So if you like challenges, this is called picture frame. Same thing, but now look how we've manipulated our levers. I'm framing my face as best I can. Now when I come up, I'm going to try to frame my face, but if I cannot, then the modification would be arms forward until I can frame my face again. So choose what works for you. We can frame the face to make that lever longer, get that weight further away from the fulcrum. So you're just using your body to make the intensity you need. Good. I'm going to give one more. Anytime you need to take a full body stretch, you can. I'm going to do another add-on challenge if you would like it. The add-on challenge is to stack your spine, place your hands beside you, and then watch how I hinge. I'm going to hinge. There'll be a moment when my body says, all right, let's flex, and you're going to flex with control. Now inhale, and then you can exhale and come up. The challenge would be to keep your arms where they are, right? The weight's far away from the fulcrum. Roll over a beach ball. Stack the spine like there's a wall behind you. Hinge. Flex the spine. Good. Exhale. That a girl. That's nice and controlled, and then you flex. Good. Over. And you're just working at your own pace. You're hinged. For this third variation, you're hinged. And then when you cannot hinge anymore, nice, cold, ready to use your arms to modify. Roll down. How about one more? Exhale, go over. Stack the spine. Hinge. Oh, how wonderful. Take a full body stretch, guys. Full body stretch. And then I am going to encourage you, if you want to take a sip, grab a sip, and I'm going to meet you for some planks. So the plank is let me tilt my screen down. The plank is on the forearms for our purposes. If you want to do them on your hands, please do. I am going to offer that the plank have the roller on one end, your foot end. You don't have to. That's going to put more bias on your upper body. So listen to your body. Forearms down, your shoulders are directly underneath your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Now, I'm going to look at you for a moment while I cue. I just need to make sure everybody looks good. It's been a minute. All right, I like it. I like how nobody's low back is drooping. I like how there's a pulling up sensation in your belly. From the side, your ear is in line with your shoulder. Because gravity's pulling you down, your head might be tempted to go to the floor, but you don't want to do that. You want your ear in line with the shoulder. We're always practicing alignment no matter what plane we're in. You're doing great. I'm giving information while we're here, so we're just holding it, holding it, holding it. You want to feel your belly pulling in, almost like you're getting ready to cough. And that's that transverse abdominal. All right, you can rest. Now I'm going to leave my shins under on the foam roller to take a child pose here. You can rest however you want. So I like that way for you, Catherine, with your knees, just to let your belly rest and let your knees sway. And then come on back again. Now this can be done on the roller or without, but you shift forward just an inch or two and back. Now, if you don't have the roller, then you're on your toes and you shift back and forth. So I'll show you that one too. If you have any metatarsalgia or anything going on with your metatarsals that doesn't like this, you would like to probably have something to put your feet up on. So if I ever don't address a modification that you need, just email me, text me. I'm happy to answer it. There's always a way around stuff. Creative solutions is what we do. 4, 3, 2. Now recover any way you need to. I'll show a child's pose. Another way is just to rest on your belly and windshield wipe your knees. Adding on, we're going to take a side plank. Now, a side plank can be on the floor or on the roller. You get to choose. Go up, and we'll talk about what we're doing is getting stability before we add mobility. And by that, I mean we're figuring out what we do when we're static, so that before we add movement, we don't have extra variables. What we're doing static is shoulder blade down the back, ear in line with the shoulder. In other words, I'm not poking my head forward here. I've got my hips lifted. This is toned. So I'm a big toucher for proprioception. If you're not sure, touch something, it should be active. Take an inhale. Now watch how we descend. We descend with the hip. We never just collapse at the shoulder because it's weight bearing, right? We want it safely to decelerate down. Other side, forearm on, feet on. Now exhale, lift. We're going to establish stability before we add mobility. So the cues are my shoulder blades down the back. I'm never letting it poke forward here. Head in line with the, ear in line with the shoulder. I should feel some tone here. And in my hip abductor. The harder variation is hips stacked. Staggered's a little easier. Do what you need. Now keep holding. Feel your belly pull in with your exhale. It's like you're blowing out birthday candle. That'll get that transverse active. Breathe in. Lower your hip. Nice job, everybody. Now we established stability. Let's add some mobility. If you need to stay with your stability, that's okay. So on the floor or on a roller, go up. Now, once you feel like you've got your cues, so shoulder blade down the back, hip is lifted, inhale. Your addition, the possibility is to rotate and exhale. Even though I'm rotating my torso, my hips are square. So try to just rotate the torso. The body loves rotation. It helps prevent that forward upper back posture that you can get without postural exercise intervention, but we're doing the intervention right now. So rotation is one of those exercises that helps prevent rounded upper back. You do have the choice. Posture can be helped. Now lower the hip. We're going to go to the other side. It's going to be great. Take this, if you have it, elbow down. Feet are staggered or stacked. Stacked is harder, staggered's easier. Now, static first, here we are, shoulder blade down. When you're ready, exhale, rotate. Exhale. And if you'd like one extra cue, when your arm is up, you can take it beyond midline, and that's a pec stretch. And we like the pecs to get a stretch because they're generally tight and pulling our shoulders internal. And we don't want forward shoulder internal rotation. We want to have shoulders down the back. So stretch here if you can add that on. It does require a little bit more stability balance. Exhale. Exhale. Just do what you can with good form. That's more important than the number. Lower your hip. You guys did great. We're going to take this over to the other side. And if you don't have it, it's okay. Just do a normal plank. So forearms down on the mat, shins down. And let me give you a trick with the foam roller, especially these heavy ones. Internally rotate your femurs a little bit and you'll get on your tibialis anterior and you'll be off the bone. So if you're on a foam roller that's really tough, then that feels better. Okay, now if you would like to add on, you're gonna lift your hips like a dolphin and then lower. I'm gonna show it without the foam roller now. You're gonna lift and go to plank. You're gonna lift and go to plank. If that doesn't serve you, do normal plank. That's a girl, great elephant. You feel that little stretch too. Lift your hips. Nice, Karen, looking strong. And up. And up. Notice how your neck goes with you. So there's no tension in the neck ever. You're looking at your toes and you're looking towards your hands. You're looking at your toes and you're looking at your hands. Belly pulls up. One more, we're doing 10 or the best you can do. And then recover. Nice job, guys. Happy New Year, welcome back. We're gonna do one called inchworm. And inchworm, I'm gonna show you with and without the foam roller. The first modification is just to do a plank on your toes. You could also do it on your knees, but either if you'd like to, and you're on your foam roller, pull your knees underneath you and then put it back. Pull your knees underneath you and back. Again, if you're like, if you have a foam roller that's pretty tough, like this black one, internally rotate a little bit and it'll roll out your tibialis anterior, your shin. If you don't have that roller, but you still want to add a variation, pull one knee under, I call it the running man, and then one knee under, or flamingo. So you can do this creatively. All you're doing is adding a challenge. Nice, Allison, that's a great way to do it. Good. Good. And make sure you're even. Good call. How about 3 more or whatever makes you even? 2, 1. Take a moment. Woo! Looking good, guys. I want to give us a reverse plank. Now, this one is on the hands, but you can do modifications if it doesn't serve you. The very first way to do, so what we're doing is getting all the planes of the body, right? No plane unattended to. So this is called reverse table. The other thing you can do is lengthen. You can also do this on your foam roller, especially if your knees tend to hyperextend. This little underneath your ankle trick helps with that. So take 10, 9, good, that a girl, or stretch in a bound angle, Karen, that's perfect. If your wrists just aren't loving it. Inhale and exhale. And I'm going to give us a wrist stretch. And so normally what I do is have us do forearms. It is every now and then important to get some hand weight bearing. You know, what if you did fall? You do want to have some strength and stress in the wrist. I don't ever want you to hurt yourself, but I just want to offer that that's why I do throw in some hand wrist moves sometimes. Pull it the other way. So we're doing the forearm stretches. That ought to feel fabulous, right? We're going to let that go, and we're going to go to some of my favorite work, which is thoracic extension. So this is the secret sauce to good posture right here and to having a healthy back. Belly down. And I'm going to just show this first Sphinx. The shoulder blades are down the back. The belly is lifting. So what you can do is imagine you have a piece of ice underneath your belly. You know how you'd be sagging? You lift away from that ice in your abs. You do have energy in your legs, but you're not cracking walnuts with your glutes. You don't want your glutes so tight that you're going to jam your SI. You want tone, but you don't want a death grip. If you care to add on, press your hands onto the floor and lift up a bit more. Now, glide the shoulder blades down the back. Elbows are pointed towards the floor. Yeah, so that's called external rotation. Anytime I can get external rotation, we get that because we're internally rotated most of the day in life and we want to combat that. So belly's lifting. That way we have an even extension throughout the spine. Now add the breath. Breathe in through your nose and fill up your upper back with breath. Let your fascia know this is normal. Building endurance. Now exhale, lower. Rest your forehead or your cheek and lift up both legs off the floor. Hamstrings and glutes. Now lower your legs, lift up your back without your hands. So I'm going to see how high I can go without my hands. Then I'm going to put my hands on the ground and slowly peel up. I'm going to look at you, but you can be looking ahead and listening to audio if you need to. I like it. Now this is shoulder blade down the back. That's probably the biggest error I see when I'm seeing this on Instagram or something else where it's posted, or even yoga marketed classes. This shoulder up the back's gonna hurt. You want it down the back. Lower down and lift up both thighs. Lower your thighs, inhale, lift up your torso, and then when you can't go anymore, assist your back muscles with your hands. Elbows point down. If you have any upper trap tension, I used to be very upper trap dominant, then one trick is to go a little wider with your hands. Another trick is to really press your pinky into the floor because that's neurologically tied to your serratus anterior. So it tells your shoulder blade stabilizers how to help you get out of your upper traps. Breathe in. Now lower your torso and lift up your thighs. Inhale. Lower your thighs. Inhale, lift up your upper back. When you cannot go anymore, let your hands assist you. Hold. 10. Good. I like it. Your elbows are pointed down. Good. The modification would be Sphinx. The breath is going to your upper back. With your breath, you drive the physiology of your nervous system. With a long, calm breath, you're telling your body, this is my normal place. I'm always upright. This is normal for me. Then your body, when you're going through your day, it detects when you're slouching, and it'll help you out of kindness. It'll want you to come back. All right, come on back. Child pose, or Catherine, I might just do a windshield wipe for your knees just to kind of get them out. Good job, guys. And we're gonna head back down to belly. So if you do need a break, let's say a couple weeks off and you need to do fewer, that's okay. Just listen to your body. The next one does not have any hand help. So your hands are like a rocket ship beside your pelvis. You go up with your inhale. Now, think about the belly pulling up a little. If you can add on your thighs lifting, do that as well. The palms are facing the floor because I'm going to encourage external rotation whenever I can, because normal daily tasks generally put us in internal rotation and thoracic flexion. So I'm going to do what I can during our class together to combat that. Breathe in. Now there's no neck tension. You're probably looking down at the floor, but the ear is in line with the shoulder in its gentle extension. Take another inhale, lower down, and the next one is to interlace your fingers at the lumbar spine. If they do not interlace, or it's kind of pushing your shoulder forward, then don't do this next one. Just leave your hands beside you. Lift up. Now you've got a little extra stretch. Lift up your thighs. I'm going to look at you. Good, Karen. Good, Betty. Michelle, you might be able to retract your head a 0.5 millimeter towards the sky. Yeah, doesn't that feel nicer? Yeah, I know I love the witness on that question, but it does look nicer. Breathe in. And relax. And if you want to switch which hand's on the outside, so right now my right pinky's on the outside. Now I'm going to put my left pinky on the outside of that interlace. Breathe in and lift up. Now I'm going to look at you. You can imagine you're on a lake. You're going to move a little with your breathing, so you don't stop that movement. The posture is dynamic just because we're breathing even. So you have a little movement, and Allison looks great. Breathe in. Good. Cola like that one. And then come back, child pose. I'm going to add on a toe pull under so you can stretch out your feet. If you're like me and the season changes, you're wearing different shoes, sometimes your feet need extra attention. So all the toes are on the floor, heels are straight up, and you push and you get a foot stretch. If you would like to add more foot stretch, keep your toes curled under and come up to your toes while you're kneeling. So I've got my toes curled under. If you would like more toe stretch, this has a nickname, toe crush asana. Hands back. You can even lift up. Oh, so see if you're getting a fabulous foot stretch. Only do what you feel good with. I love feet stretches. It's our foundation, and I'd like to make sure that we have good care for our feet, but make sure it's good for you. I like that one. Inhale. Now exhale to come back. Nice job, guys. If you would like a sip, grab it. Otherwise, we're going to take it to a side plank. You can do it with or without your foam roller. Just to mix things up, I'm going to do it without my foam roller. And elbow down, shoulders down. See how this feels nice and down the back? That's how we always want it. Here we go. Now, the hand can start at your thigh. You're going to come up. This is called lateral flexion. This is one of the 5 ways that the spine likes to move every day for health. So this is lateral flexion. You know, we already did rotation. And I am lifting my hip higher than neutral, but I'm not letting the hip touch the ground between repetitions. I like to have this image of painting a big fat rainbow, or catching a cloud, or catching skies. Enjoy. Exhale. Breathe in. Let's take 2 more for 10, or wherever you are in your journey. Head back. Good, and then let that hip down. Switch it, other side. So elbow down, shoulder down the back. Before you weight it, you can put your bones in the right place. That way you're in the right place before you add the weight. Go up and over and lower your hip. Now your head may try to poke forward or droop. So you're gonna have that ear in line with the shoulder from the side view. And you're giving an energy of, I'm strong, I feel good, I'm getting stronger, I feel flexible. You're giving your inner talk healthy focus. Enjoy the breath. I love it. Nice job, really good. Now let's go back to a side plank. So what we're doing is working those abs and shoulder blade stabilizers in all planes, my favorite way to work the core. So elbow underneath the shoulder. This arm is going to be mobility, so if you're like me, you might have to get away from your wall a little bit. Come up. Now this arm is going to do the biggest, fattest circles you can that are pain-free. So no pain, nothing should hurt, but as big as you can. Stretch, stretch. Now we're going to shoot for 5 each way, so I'm going to go backwards here. We're getting that pec stretched right here, that anterior deltoid right here. 2. So it's kind of like leg circles, but for our arm. We're trying to get our ball and socket joints healthy, keeping them healthy. Elbow down, shoulder blade down the back. This arm goes up into the biggest circle you can. Breathe in. Inhale, open. And I love it. Nice job. Nice job. We're going to let our forearms come down, guys, and let your feet come off the floor. Now, this is going to be a little kick out and in. The modification, especially if you're really muscular or have long legs, is maybe just don't lengthen as much. So listen to your body. You want to make sure you're not compromising your form here between rib and pelvis. Variation is can, so go to one corner for variation, go to the other. The abs should be on. You're not hanging out in your shoulders. You're lifted through your sternum. You're not just hanging out in your shoulders. So lift up through your sternum. A sternum is attached to the sky, pulling you up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take a moment down, hands to your feet, and pull the knees wide. Rock a little right and left. We're going to change the plane. So let your right arm, or a arm, it doesn't matter, we'll even it up, whatever arm's handy so you can see me, be underneath your ear. I like to act like it's a pillow. So I see my toes, meaning I'm biased to the front as I lift up both thighs. I'm not biased to the back. I don't have an arch in my back. So lift up, I can see my toes in my peripheral. Exhale, both thighs up. Feel your belly pull in. I'm finger counting while I'm cueing. 7. So you're going to go for 20. 8. Try to get a little window between your rib and your pelvis. I call it the oblique window. So you're never sagging, hanging out, drooping. You've got a little waist corset here. Both legs are up. Now, while you're doing this, there's no tension necessary in the upper traps or jaw, is there? So differentiation. Now hold up, leave the bottom leg off the floor, let your toes point forward, because what we're going to do is try to access that glute med. Most women are really strong in their vastus lateralis, so your body's going to want to do that. So just keep the toes forward. Now we're going to leave this top leg up, bottom leg 10, inner thigh. I can see my toes in my peripheral. Now after the 10th one, lie on your belly and your arms are like a little pillow. Lift up both legs and tap the feet together while they're in the air for 20 taps. Neck is soft, belly's lifted. Breathe in and out. Now we're going to go to the other side. I'm going to change so I can see you, but if you want to flip around back to me, that's fine. Arm underneath your ear. Here's your waist, getting ready to pull away from the floor. You have an oblique window. I can slide my fingers between my rib and my pelvis here. Even when I'm lifted, I've got a little tone. Up. Now the neck is soft. You saw even I was accidentally tightening in my neck. Here's some work. If you put your brain where your muscles are working, they'll fire better for us. So we're focused on what we feel. A lot of times you can do a bigger lift than your mind initially sends the signal for. So play around with that. See, oh yeah, I can go a little higher. Just had to focus that way. And if you have a hip bone that's feeling awkward in this, you can sometimes bend your knee to get off that pain. So if that's you, or put a pillow under your hip. Now on the 20th one, stay up, top leg up, neck, jaw, relax. Toes forward. And Catherine, this will help all around your knees. All these muscles help with knee health. Also, we don't work in this plane much. If you run, bike, ski, it's all sagittal planes. So this is going to help because we're working in different planes than normal. So bottom leg up, belly pulls in. Roll onto your belly, hands underneath your forehead, lift up both thighs and tap those feet together 20 times. And then recover. So this is going to be fun and exciting. This one is right knee bends, and Catherine, I'll show you a modification in a moment, but if you can hold your right hand to your right foot and then your left hand and then go up, this is called bow. Catherine, you might like just the Shalabhasana, which is an extension. Yeah, yep. All right, so you're doing great. I want you to feel the strength of your quads. They're pushing. If you were to let go of your hand, your legs would fly out behind you. So your legs are in this isometric contraction. They're contracted. You're lifting up through your heart, through your upper back. Your neck is easy. There's no strain. If you're not sure, shake it out. Everybody looks good. Relax for a moment, and if you were on one leg, take the other leg. If you were on two, do it again. Here we go. Go up. Breathe in. I'm going to look at you, but you're probably looking down at the floor. Good job, guys. Oh, good. That was a good way to do it, Catherine. Michelle, that looks good. Upper back looks good. Neck is easy. And with your breathing, you're letting your body know you're calm here. Everything's fine. And then recover. All right. Come up. Let those legs in front. You're doing great. Up one arm and behind. This is called the rack posture. Up one, up and behind. This is the rack. So both hands are behind me, fingers pointing away. It is so easy to hyperextend our elbows here. So give me like an inch bend or so, then lift your heart. Shoulders, if you don't feel it, walk your arms closer together behind you or further away. So soften the elbows. If you feel your elbows hurting, usually it's because it's in hyperextension. So soften them even more. Because they're behind us, we can't see. I'm trying to look at you guys, but generally just make sure the elbows are soft here. Heart lifts. You see how this is opposite our daily task? All right, I'm going to give us another hand stretch for just a moment. Take your thumbs to your first finger. It's kind of an ulnar nerve thing. So I like to keep the arms real healthy. If you've ever had any arm tingling or paresthesia, you know how odd that feels. So we want to do some things for the forearms, the hands, and that's it. Nice job. Now we're going to go back to a hands and knees position. So I'll show you this. Hands and knee, right leg, left arm. Now, you notice how I'm a table and I'm trying to keep my dishes balanced on my table. Lift up your left toes and left shin if you want it harder. So my left toe, no toes are touching if you want it harder. Now lower those limbs and take your right arm and your left leg. So this is really commonly a rehab exercise. I want you to think about the abs not drooping. Now lower, and I've got no toes touching for the harder variation. Let 5 toes touch if you need it easier. And then do this belly pulling in cue every time you reach. When you keep going, I'm just talking, when you lengthen your leg behind you, it's real easy to tip that hip open in rotation, but you don't want to. Imagine there's a cup of green tea on your hip and it does not spill right or left. Another trick is to actually use a yoga block and put it on your hip. And if that yoga block falls over, you know. So I'm going to look at you. You guys keep going. I just want to see, make sure your belly doesn't droop. I like it. Now we're gonna add on, if you would like to add on a challenge, right arm, left leg are out, no toes are touching. Touch your right elbow to your left knee. Extend, no toes, elbow to knee underneath you. Extend, so we're doing flexion, which is an ab crunch. And then we're going into lengthened arm and leg. 8 on each side, no toes, no shin touching is harder. Toes touching is easier. Breathe in. This one looks like it should be easy. So if it's harder, it is harder. It's not your imagination. Now 8 on the other side. Left arm, right leg, no toes, no shin. If you want that challenge, round your back. Let your elbow touch your knee, and then straighten your back. Round your back. That's an ab crunch. Straighten. And when you straighten, try not to extend. You're not lifting your arm or leg higher than your body. You're just parallel to the floor. I'm going to look at you. 4. Good. 5. It's a little bouncy, isn't it? 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm going to give, nice job guys, I'm going to give you one of 2 postures. The first one is the one we've been doing. The second one is one that's a squat this way. So Catherine, you'll do the back down one. If you can do this malasana though, I would encourage you to keep this skill till you're 185 years old. So there, you can even add your hands here. Good, and your feet are down on the ground, aren't they? And your palms can get an extra stretch. You've got a great low back stretch. Please do what you need to. This is a functional youth challenge, I'll call it. So standing up is the possibility. If that doesn't serve you, another trick is to put lots of yoga blocks underneath your bootay, and then eventually that becomes normal. So do, if you can, don't do anything that's not good for you, but eventually that's what you can do, and a healthy body can do this. Nice! Betty, look how far you've come. And no hands. Awesome, guys. Yeah. In other words, don't let the word age make you think that this is a thing that you can't do anymore. That's not the thing. So just doing great. All right, come on down. I'm so proud. That was awesome. Lie back down. We're going to break it up with a hip opener. So reach your right ankle to your left thigh. And now you can rock. If you have a feeling of your neck being uncomfortable, you can always put a pillow or a Baja blanket under your head. There's 6 deep external rotators in here, so I like to kind of move a little left and right and find all sorts of juicy places. Try the other one. We're going to add another hip opener in a moment, but we're going to do, this is probably the comeback move for a hip opener. So if I ever show other ones in a given class, this one's just a really nice one. A modification would be, if you cannot reach your thigh, is to put yourself up against the wall and let the wall hold your figure 4. So always feel like you can email me, text me, because there's always ways to get what we're after. But for now, just enjoy that breath. You can imagine the exhale is relaxing your hip muscles, and they're just melting into a beach or sand, just melting. And feel how good that is to be nourishing your beautiful body, your beautiful mind, your beautiful spirit. And then I'm going to be adding on 2 possibilities. Please listen to your body. I'm going to place our hands behind our thighs, and you can use your abs to kick up. But the first possibility is cat-cow. So you notice a lot of the things we do have to do with a healthy spine. Round up. Now it's a flexion and an extension, but you're feeling each part of your back. So lower back, and then round, and then extend. Shoulder blades are down the back. Now, if you care to add on, this would be a harder variation. You go down dog. Now notice how it feels fabulous on the calves. You lift your heels, you articulate your lumbar, middle, thoracic spine, and then you go into a shoulder blade down the back, up dog. Inhale, then you tuck your chin, articulate through your upper back, middle back, lower back, heels press. So you can keep going, you can do cat-cow, or you can do down dog, up dog articulation. You're not just getting to the end points, you're articulating throughout, you're segmenting, you're feeling upper, middle, lower, calves. Lift your heels, lower back, middle back, upper back, and then really strong arms so your shoulder blades are down your back. Tuck, good, I'm looking, you guys are doing great. And let's take about 3 more of whichever way you're doing. And tuck. You know, these are some of my favorites. And when you're ready, gently come down. Woo! All right, I'm gonna offer another forearm stretch. So pull your arm down and drop your shoulders. Good. You can sit any way you want, Catherine. I'm just sitting like mermaid style for a moment. Good. Now, sit any way you want because the theme is lateral flexion. So if you can sit like mermaid, please do. If you need to sit like that, Catherine, that's just fine, Dandasana. So in mermaid, the 2 W's here, this is one way. Is that okay? All right. So my intention is the spine is laterally flexed. Breathe into, this is called one lung breathing. Breathe into this lung, this side of your body. Inhale, and act like I'm pulling your wrist. Like you're getting longer and longer. Rotating towards the floor will get your QL a little bit more, that muscle that runs from the lowest rib to the high pelvis. Rotating towards the sky will get your external obliques a little bit more, so that's really good for posture. I love it all. Also, your intercostals are getting some amazing attention to stay pliant. We want all our breathing muscles to be pliant. You can imagine a gazelle running through the woods, and they're elastic, and we are animals who are elastic, agile, strong, vibrant. Now this hand that's in the air goes behind you and it's rotation. Look over your shoulder, mermaid looking over her shoulder. I'm gonna look at you for form, but oh, I like what I see. Everybody looks great. Now inhale, go forward again and spin your mermaid legs. The intention is lateral flexion, meaning however you can get it is fine. This is the offering, but just like a buffet, if you need to change it up, that's okay. So act like you're going up and over a fence, or like I'm pulling your arm. Breathe into this rib cage. One little trick with that one lung breathing is point your nose in the direction that you want your breath to go, or put your hand there and inflate those intercostals. We want those respiratory muscles pliant. So when we're challenged on demand, the breathing isn't an issue. It's pliant, elastic, pliable, like Play-Doh in sun. Rotate down to get that QL. Rotate up to get those obliques. You also feel different shoulder fibers on these variations. Use your intuition to see what angles work for you today. Take that inhale and let your hand that's in the air go behind you and look over your shoulder. Thoracic rotation. That's one of the secret formulas for keeping an erect upper back, not letting it round forward over time. Awesome job, guys. And when you're ready, take a lie down. We're going to do about 20 seconds, but listen to your body. 1, 2, 3. A little knee flexion helps your lumbar spine articulate or flex. About 10, 9, Pull the belly in with every exhale. 5. Full body stretch. Now when you're in a full body stretch, shift one leg longer than the other by your QL, not by bending your knee, but by shifting your hip higher and lower. Your knees are long. That's a great little QL exercise, that little muscle that needs some extra attention. Now we're going to do a knee down twist. So let your right foot be on the floor for a moment and then take that knee across. Let your left hand rest on that right thigh. Your right arm can draw circles like you're at the beach and your fingers are making a circle around you. After about 3 or 5 of those, you can leave your arm out like a T or a Y, whatever gets your shoulder in a stretch. Breathe in, and you can let your eyes close. That will increase your focus on your internal world. If you feel like you can release tension in your jaw, you can do that. Your eyes, your scalp, your neck, your back. And let every inhale replenish your cells with nourishment, with wellness, with radiance and vibration, health. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's go to the other side. Right knee down, left knee across. Your right hand can help it, and your left arm can take some circles, maybe 3 to 5. You'll know, and then you can end up leaving that hand out and looking that way, but I encourage you to close your eyes so your focus is really inside. This is your time to replenish, to renew. Let your breath be a little longer and a little fuller, and notice how good that feels. This is your time. This is you getting connected with your higher you. You can keep melting, keep relaxing. Take a moment, and either your block or your foam roller can go under your sacrum as you put your legs up on the wall. If you don't have this option, you can use a couch, or you could just lie flat on your back for Shavasana. The main goal is to let your mind relax. You can release it from anything of the past or the future and let yourself be in touch with the now. If your mind wanders, just bring it back like a faithful puppy dog, without condemnation, with loving kindness. Breathe in an energy of care to your cells. In my mind's eye, I see the cell getting plump and full, radiant, exuding wellness. Breathe in an energy of wellness to your mind, your beautiful mind. Breathe in an energy of wellness to your breath, your spirit, that part of you that is beyond physical. Take another breath to seal the unity of the mind-body breath. Breathing in an intention of the highest good. Now, as you're ready, you can slowly begin to make your way up towards a seated position, facing the front of the room and lifting up without any effort in an easy posture. And we're going to put one hand over the heart and then the other. Right now, just for this moment, this very sacred moment, I'm listening to my heart. It's always with me, and it's always giving me its higher guidance. It knows everything I've been through, and it knows everything I want. I'm going to trust and listen and honor my heart as I go through my day today. Take a moment to seal that intention. Notice how your heart responds. Notice how comforting that feels. Whenever you're ready, come back into the room so I can see your beautiful eyes. And with love and kindness to each of you, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.